Hello, what's up, guys? What's up, everyone? It's been actually almost 5 days right now. I think 5 days since our last stream. I've been keeping up the regular. Okay, guys. Welcome back to the new stream. Today we'll be working with Flutter for you guys. You guys have been asking that I kind of like go back to streaming Flutter, try some Flutter stream for you guys. So I decided to actually do some projects on Flutter, and yeah, we'll be building it live here. Hopefully you guys can actually learn something from it. It's gonna be huge. We are kind of like trying to see if we can finish the first part of the project today. Basically getting the calculator UI, making it to be responsive on different screens like what we have here, so you can actually take a look at this is what the calculator will look on web. So we're gonna make it to actually work on web, mobile, and also on desktop. So that's the idea behind the whole stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't have the mobile UI to actually show you guys, but we're going to start off with the mobile UI and also branch into the other platform UIs too. So yeah, so stick around and let's build this together. So first, let's create a project. So for those of you who are actually new into Flutter, you can actually open up your terminal, and the terminal I'm using for this project is called the terminal I'm using for the project is actually called Hyper Terminal. So most of you guys would have heard about this. So it's called Hyper Terminal. Where is it again? This is the name. Yeah, Hyper. Yeah, Hyper Terminal. I can get it online through. You can actually get it from Hyper Terminal. Yeah, Hyper Terminal. Change to English. Yeah, so you can actually download your own version of Hyper Terminal right here for your system you're using for this project. But if you don't have it, it's not required. You can actually use your own native terminal. So on iOS it's kind of like called terminal. On Windows it's called a command forgetting what is it called. Then it's called prompt. Yeah, command prompt, and also I think the other one, command view or something like that. I've forgotten, guys. Been actually a long time since I actually worked on Windows. Yeah, but that's it. On Linux, so it's still called terminal on Linux. So yeah, just use your terminal, whichever one you have. So basically, open up your terminal on any location. So we are going to call Flutter Create. But before you do this, let's type this first. Flutter create the app name. So what's the app name that we want to create? I'm going to give it the name called fastest finger. Fastest finger calculator. There you go. So this will be creating a project for us. As you can actually look, you see that everything is done. It's created the whole project for us. Before you can actually be able to run this command, you have to make sure that you have Flutter installed in your system, and you can get Flutter from this location. Give me a second, guys. Let me take a look at something. I think something is wrong with my stream somewhere. Give me a second. Okay, yeah, I think we are good to go. So yeah, like I said, if you want to get hold of Flutter, to install Flutter on your system and be able to actually get the project to work, you have to just type Flutter and then see flutter.dev, then click on the install part, and you actually see ways you can actually install Flutter on your system. If you're a Linux user, so go through with this installation right here, follow the whole installation. And the good thing about it is that actually the Flutter team actually made it easy to actually follow the tutorial they have here. And once you follow the tutorial, you are going to have Flutter set up on your system. And also for Windows, you can follow the tutorial for Windows, how to install Flutter on Windows. Then on Mac OS, then you can follow the tutorial for macOS also. Then if you're also the fancy type, if you're using Chrome OS, so you can actually follow the tutorial for Chrome OS too. So yeah, I think those are the platforms currently supported by Flutter at the moment for Flutter development. With that being said, let's go ahead and start working on this. So first of all, I'm going to actually go back to the terminal, and then let's cd into the project we created. Copy this part, paste it in here, cd into the directory, and then we are going to open this in our VS Code by running this command. So this will actually open on our VS Code. There you go. So let's put this side right here. Okay, so I don't think I have any use for this right now. I'm going to minimize this. Right here we are going to go straight into the lib folder. So our lib folder, straight in there, and we're going to run a test app. So let's run the first one to test this and see how this is working. So I'm going to open this on selected device. I want this to open on iOS 13. Select that, and let's run this to see what this looks like the first time you run your Flutter bootstrapped project. So the app is actually running at the moment, so let's give it a moment, some time to actually finish up. And there you go, you can actually see the project showing up here. So we have our project showing up here, and that's to show us that Flutter is actually working on our system and the whole stuff is we are good to go start the development. So yeah, actually test this, just tap, everything is working. So right now I don't need this bootstrapped project. I'm going to delete most of what we have here. So pause this. Instead of pausing it, let's leave it running. Let's keep it running at the moment. So I'm going to go over here inside the lib folder, create a new folder. I can create a new folder and call that folder calculator. And in there I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to name that file to be main underscore calculator dot. There you go. And it's going to be a stateful widget. So in Flutter we have stateful widget and stateless widget depending on the one you want to use or work with. On my case, I use mostly I think I just use any of them depending on what you are trying to achieve or something like that. Yeah, so let's say stateful, and okay, I messed this up, but I can still rename it. So just highlight this and you can rename this. So I want to rename it to be main calculator, so that's the name we're going to give it, and then hit enter. So you just replace whatever this name should be in our file right here. So that's cool. I'm go ahead and delete this import, so we don't need that particular import. I'm going to go ahead and import material package so that these errors will go away. See that is fixed. Next, I'm going to return an empty container right here. Yeah, basically return an empty container. Yeah, this is just for the testing purposes to actually make sure that this is working. And I'm going to copy this. Like I said, go back to the main file. I'm going to go ahead and delete whatever we have here. Delete them. You don't need any of them anymore. So basically leave this part. You don't need to delete this part because that's actually the entry point for our app right now, our material app, wrapping the whole stuff. So below here I'm going to create another stateless or stateful widget, whichever you want. So you can actually already have a stateless widget here, so you can decide to create a stateless widget again. I'm going to go with stateful widget. I'm going to name this to be entry point, Yeah, and it's going to return. What's going to return at the moment is going to return our main calculator that we created, and make this to be constant. So the reason why I made it to be constant because I'm using not safety. So once you are using not safety in Flutter, so it's always good to actually know where to add the constant, since if this is not going to be changing most constantly, you just make it to be constant and other stuff. So that's the reason for the not safety. So we got a message on the chat. So someone said that he's surprised that I'm streaming on Flutter again. Yeah. I think you kind of like messaged me the previous day that you are missing the Flutter tutorials and all those stuff. So yeah, I decided to actually stream some stuff on Flutter. It's been quite a long time right now. I've been able to do anything in Flutter, but yeah, you guys should be seeing more of Flutter these days. I'll be missing it up. I'll be missing both React Native, Flutter this point in time. Yeah, we'll be doing both of them. So that's it. So you guys will be seeing more of that. So try to actually get on board to look at my new videos that will be coming up on it. So basically we just have this, and then if you look at this, you're going to see there's an issue right now showing up here. That's because we actually need to replace this. This is no longer in our app anymore, so just need to actually remove that. Just remove it, and you guys can actually guess what we need to replace it with. Just replace it with the entry point. Entry point. Yeah, that's cool. We are good to go. So I'm go ahead and save this, and this is going to give us a black screen. That's because right now in our main calculator file is actually an empty container. Nothing is in there. So we don't bring it because there's nothing there at the moment. So just leave it like this way. So with this being there, so next what we can actually do is to head over. Before we do anything, basically remove this debug icon here. You don't need that to be in your app, so remove it. So it's easy to remove. How to do that? So go over to the app screen right here, and then inside the material app widget, there's another property called debug, show debug mode banner. So click on that and turn that to be off. So set that to false, and that will turn off. So you see the check debug icon is no longer there. So that's it. So let's keep going. We are trying to achieve this, not exactly like this on the mobile. That's what we are trying to actually achieve, because in the web it will actually look like this on web, and also on desktop it will actually look similar like this on desktop also. So yeah, so that's what we are looking at. But on mobile it won't have this. It just look normal on mobile screen. So let's go ahead and implement this. So right here inside our main calculator, so go straight in there. Next stuff I can actually do, I could actually wrap this with a scaffold. We could wrap it to the scaffold in here. I think that will make more sense. So let's wrap this with a scaffold. So wrap widget, and we're going to say scaffold. There you go. But that's called scaffold. Do I have the correct spelling? I think we're messing it up. Okay. Scaffold. Okay, guys. Trying to figure out the name. The name for this. Let's try typing it in here. Let's see. Yeah, so it's called scaffold. I get it. So copy that. I'm gonna copy it and then go back. Replace this widget right here with it. So scaffold, and this shard is going to be this. The body is going to be main container, and I can actually make the scaffold to be constant itself to fix the issue that we're having. If you are using null safety, you're going to be having these issues, these highlights. I'm telling you that you have to make this constant or this constant depending on what the child is all about. If the child is not having a variable that is always changing or something that's always changing, so you actually make the parent to be constant or something like that. Yeah. So over here we're going to remove the scaffold that we have right here, and I'm going to replace that with a sized box. because we need a size box right now. I'm going to replace this with a size box. So remember the size box widget. Like I said, we are trying to get something that actually looks similar to this. Yeah, similar to this on mobile for the calculator we are trying to build. So these are size box. I should make this size box to be constant. And this return, and inside a size box it needs a height and a width. So I'm gonna paste the code for both the height and the width. There you go. You can actually see there's an issue going on right now. We have these code highlights. That's because we are making the parent, which is this size box right here, constant. And since these are not constant, this will actually be given to us on the fly whenever the app is running. That's when we actually be able to get this. So it doesn't make sense to have the parent to be constant. So that will fix the issue for us. Then the child of the size box is going to be a stack widget. So we replace that with the stack widget. And inside the stack widget is going to have a children property. And inside the children, we're going to use first of all, the first child is going to be positioned, because we want to have this path that's gray in color and this path that is white in color. So both of them will be wrapping on each other, so kind of like on top of each other. So this one on top of this one, that's what we call it. Yeah, on top of each other. That's what we call stack. So they will stacking on top of each other. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm using position.fill, and inside the position.fill, this child. So I'm gonna copy some stuff over so you can actually be faster with what we are doing. Let's copy this. So the child property is going to be a container. Okay. Container. Looks like we're having an issue right now. I think I'm getting it wrong. Container. Yeah, so that's the correct spelling. Oh my goodness, it's been quite kind of looks have been quite away from Flutter these days. I'm actually missing most of the name for the widgets. So here we go. Position the field, and we have the child being container. I'm going to paste some child property for this container and for the what it should look like. If you go ahead and save this for now, you're going to see the whole page is actually gray in color. So you actually notice that the whole stuff is gray in color at the moment. That's it for now, but we are going to replace add another position widget. So I'm going to copy this, make it 2, and so the second position widget will be on top of this one. And I'm going to make the color to be white, so the color should be white. So that's the only thing that we need to change on it. So I'm going to say this, change from gray to white. There you go. And decoration widgets, I can't know what to do. Just copy this, remove these sections. Replace this with white, colors.white, and let's see what this looks like. There you see it's actually now changed to white, and that's because this second position widget is stacking on top of this first position widget. But we want to be able to see the first position widget and actually see the second position widget, kind of like, yeah, a space between them. One way to do that is that we need to give this a top position. We have to push it down from the top down. So this will be its top. We are going to be using media query for that. I'm going to copy that over, and I'm going to explain to you guys what that is all about. So here we go. I can actually say media query dot of context dot size dot height. So this will be actually be calculated depending on the height of the screen or the height of the device that we are using current at the moment in time. And I want to actually push it down by multiplying 0.35 to the current height. That will actually kind of push this white one down a bit. So let's save this and see what that looks like. And there you go, nice one, cool. See, we're actually getting somewhere. If you take a look at what we have here, so that this is white and this is gray, this is white and this is gray. Next, you can actually notice there's a bit of a curve around here. This curve, we need to add this curve right there. Let's add this curve. So to add that curve, I'm gonna copy and paste some code, and I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys what the code is doing. I think that way we can actually be fast enough on what we are doing here. I'm gonna paste the code that I just copied over. Yeah, let's go. So remember, we want to give this curved border radius. You see, the one we have here doesn't have any border radius, so we have to give it the same border radius. And how to do that is actually use the border radius parameter on not React Native, on Flutter. So we get hold of the border radius like this on decoration. So you have to add this parameter called decoration property, then in there use box decoration, give the color property, push the color property in there. So I want to show you guys something. So if there's an issue, if you leave this color right here and also leave this color right here, I want you guys to guess what will happen right now. If you have this color property right here and have this color property right here, what do you think will happen? And after that, I'm going to actually ask you guys another question. If we remove if you remove the one inside the box decoration and leave the one outside, what do you think will happen? So let's see. So if you go ahead and save this, you're going to have an error. So the error is basically right now is requesting that the color property should only be inside the box decoration and not outside the box decoration. But most of you will think it's because we are repeating it twice. That's why we're having the error. So let's go ahead and remove the one inside the box decoration and save this. You see, we are still having the same error. So the start, we are still having the same error. That's because you can't have a box decoration and have a color property outside. So the color property is not supposed to exist outside. Once there's a box decoration, it has to exist inside a box decoration. Yeah. So if you save this, you see the error goes away. So that's it. Next, we have this border radius. Border radius only. We want to already have border radius for the top right. We don't need the bottom right. We already need this on the web. So if it's on the web, so you can actually have this bottom border showing up. For now, we're going to toggle this off for both of them. So there we go. Yeah, so this is looking fine. Let's see. So over here, if I'm trying to test this out, so if you tap on this, or we can actually go ahead and leave this at the moment and then convert it to the web version. But I think that doesn't make any sense, so we just kind of like, let's go ahead and finish the whole stuff then before we convert it to the web version. And let's go ahead and open Dribble. So let's see if we can find the designs that we can actually take a look from. Dribble, take a reference from different design, not actually copying the whole design, but just take a reference from it, because you don't own it. So what we do, I think I actually like this design. You can actually keep this later on to build. So I kind of like something like this. I think it actually look good if you build this on Flutter. So yeah, so this will be the next stuff we'll be working on. But for now, let's go ahead and keep towards to what we are doing here today. So that should be calculator app. So right here, so let's see which of these designs for calculator that we're going to be imitating today, because we already have the base design for our calculator, which should look like this. But for the other part of the calculator, let's see stuff we'll be using. I think this actually looks nice. Stop. Okay, this one's also to actually be able to log in to be able to see this design. But with that being said, so let's ignore that and just start adding buttons to the calculator. Because if you take a look, calculators should actually have buttons like the clear buttons, the number buttons, the arithmetic buttons on it, and then they have the equal to signs on them. So let's go ahead and implement that on the mobile side. So let's open this. get to work right now. And the buttons should be inside this position field. The second position shard right here should be the one that be having the buttons inside, which is this one. This will be for the display of our calculator. Our calculator display should be for this right here. So yeah. So in here, inside our container, we're going to have a child property. So I'm going to say child. The child is going to be it makes sense to actually have I'm thinking to make it a column, or we can actually make it a row, whereby it can be every single one of them will be a row. Does that make sense? Or we can actually make every single one of them to be a column. So let's give it a direct shade of column. I think that would make sense. Inside the column is going to have a children property. There you go. Inside the children, what do we want to do in here? So inside the children, I'm going to say it's going to have a button. So let's create a button right now. So I'm going to create clip elect. Yes, clip. Okay. Let's see what this does. Clips. Okay. Let's try the other one. Correct, and see what this offers us. So they can actually put a border radius to it, so to actually run the shade up. So we are trying to use something to run the shade, or we can actually basically go ahead and use circle avatar. So there's a property called circle avatar, on Flutter. So you can actually use the circle avatar and have a border radius in it. So instead of using border radius to actually round whatever we are doing, in this case we are going to be using circle avatar. We're going to be giving it a radius that we want. So if you go ahead and save this, and there you go, you can actually see this looking nice, but we don't want an icon. We basically want a text in there. So it could be an icon on a text, because the calculator signs will be an icon, I guess, and the numbers will be a text, which is basically numbers, which is actually a text also. So let's go ahead and do that. So for now, I'm going to replace this with another child property, which is going to be a text. See. There you go. So go ahead and save this. I can actually see the number 0 showing up. I'm going to make this to be number 1, to have the number 1 showing up in there. And copy this and move it out. So we are going to be reusing this multiple times, so we can actually have a reusable component in here. So I'm going to call this going to be returning a widget. I'm going to call this calc button, or I can actually call this calculator button. And this is going to return a widget for us. So this the widget is going to return, and inside the widgets is going to have a named parameter, which is going to be required, and one will be for the text and one will be for the color property of that button, and next will be for the type. I'm going to say it's going to be required, but I'm going to call this to be Boolean, and it's going to say is a sign to actually denote if this is a sign button to use for the sign button, which is the arithmetic buttons on the calculator. So what am I having here? It's sign, that makes sense. And these are all required. So in here, I'm going to have these two as a shared property to this. So this from here to here, copy that out. I'm going to use a sign. If it's true, then go ahead and show an icon for us. Else, show us a test. So let's remove this. Oh, it's showing up here. Okay, yeah, I guess. Let's remove this also. Remove the shared property. We don't need that. There you go. So let's go ahead and use this. So right now we can actually be able to have multiple buttons showing up. Custom button and another custom button, and in here we're going to add a test property because it has a parameter called test, color, and a sign. So the test, there you go. Okay, we have an issue. So was it saying that okay, I see. This is called calculator button, not calculator buttons. Yeah. So the test in here will be number 1, and the color should be gray. And next we have the each sign should be false, and then we actually have to copy this and do the same for the second buttons that we have. Copy the inner part, paste it in here, then remove this to the button, and I'm gonna have this to be in a multiple ways. There you go. And if you go ahead and save this, I can actually see the 3 buttons showing up. So we currently have 3 buttons right now. All of them are having the same numbers. I'm going to save this to be 3, 1, 2, 3. Save that. And see. Okay, the issue is because we are not using it right here. So replace this with test. It's not going to be constant anymore. We need to make the test style to be constant. So if you save that, there you go, 1, 2, 3. But we want this to be in a horizontal way. So if you take a look at this, okay, I don't know why this is not actually showing us up. Let's see ways to actually get that particular design. Oh, yeah, just give me a second, guys. If I can get that design from my main Dribble account, I'm show you guys here. Yeah, there you go. So I can actually have this side by side and know what we're doing. So you can, if you take a look, see that right now we have this, but we want this to be in a horizontal column than being in a vertical right this. So it should be actually in a horizontal, and it should have like 4 buttons, 4 in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. So that's what we are going to do right now. And the best way to actually do that, since we are going to have rows of buttons in a column widget, we are going to convert this into a shard for a row, but a row widget. So you should have a row widget in here, and the row widget is going to have children also. Inside the children, we have these calculator buttons in there. If you go ahead and save this, you see right now we are good to go. Now every single thing is in a row. Next it should be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's make it 4. So 4, where is it? Where is it? Okay, we need to add one more button in there in the first row. So add one more button in the first row. Just copy this and paste it again, and make this to be number 4. Save this, and now we have 4 buttons, but we need a spacing between each and every one of them. And then we can actually come over here and wrap the circle avatar with padding widgets. So padding widget to help us to give a spacing around it. So we could actually say so we want to have a padding at the left hand side. So if we need a padding at the left hand side, we're not going to say edge insert.all. So we're going to say edge insert.only. Then we're going to select let's say around 10.0 on the left. If we save this, see every one of them has this spacing right here from the left, but we can actually go ahead and increase it more. So I can say 15 on the left. What about we say 16 from the left? What about we say 20 from the left? Yeah, I think that's okay with us. Yeah, we can actually leave it at 20 from the left. And then we still need a padding at the top right here. See the spacing at the top, and should be the same with the spacing at the bottom, but we're not going to add it for the buttons. So what we need to do is to add that spacing at the parents. So the parents should be the one that should have that spacing at the top and also the spacing at the bottom. So how do we do that? Inside the parents, containers has what we call margin. Margin doesn't make any sense in this scenario, so but padding makes sense. So container has a property called padding. So I'm gonna say padding dot only. Yeah, we can actually leave this way, constant, and this should be only from the top and then the bottom. And we can actually say from the top we want this to be 40.0 pixels, and the bottom we want this to be 40.0 pixels also. So go ahead and save this, and I think that's too much. Maybe you can actually reduce it a bit. Yeah, let's reduce the padding a bit. So I'm gonna say 30 pixels. Yeah, there you go. See the padding now is a bit reduced. So let's can actually do this multiple times. So let's recreate this row multiple ways. So I'm gonna say 1, add another 1, 2, 3. So I have how many? It should be how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Yeah, so it should be 5. Right now we already have 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we have the 4th one, and then we have the 5th one right there. If you go ahead and save this, let's take a look. And this is what we came up with. So you have these buttons showing up right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's cool. But right now we need each and every one of them to actually have a spacing around the way. So you should have a spacing around it. So yeah, each of them. So the way to do that, the easiest way I found to actually do that is to use sized box between them. So a size box between them should actually help us here. And I'm going to give this height, and I'm going to say the spacing should be 20.0. So if you go ahead and save this, yeah, so let's say we have this, save it. I see there's this spacing added for the first part, which is here. So let's do the same for other part of the UI. Add this, finally add this right here. Let's go ahead and save this, and there we go. You can actually see that. That's good. We can actually make it more, like increase the spacings. So let's say we have 25, and last 25 right here. So go ahead and save this. There you go. So let's see. Okay, yeah, there you go. And right now we actually have the same numbers showing up, but we want to change them to actually look like a calculator. What should be inside a calculator, right? So let's go ahead and add these properties everywhere. Yeah. And yeah, also that reminds me, the reason why I'm actually building this calculator app is because I did a calculator app for Python, and people were asking that actually build that live. I should do it live. So this is basically the calculator app. So let's go over to my channel. Um, so that should be somewhere around here. It's within the videos. Can't actually remember where we have that. Come on. But it's a Python calculator app, so I think I don't know at the point that I could actually uploaded the video. I'm trying to see if I can actually find it again. Is right. Okay, yeah, there we go. So this is it. So I built a calculator app with PyScript, and people were requesting I actually build it to real life. Yeah, so that's basically it. So I'm trying to actually recreate this reacting it Flutter. So that's the reason for doing this whole video today. Yeah, to try to stream this on Flutter. We're actually going to make this calculator more fun. It's going to be better than the Python one that we had that I did. So that's actually also good reason for actually doing this also. So right now I'm going to go ahead and add these characters that we're seeing right here, and I'm going to get most of these icons from Ionic. So get this from Ionic icon. Yeah, Ionic icon. So let's see if we can actually find a percent sign here. Okay, let's see. Okay, we don't have percentage. Okay, that's not showing up. And what about divide? Okay. Plus is there, minus is there. Okay, but we don't have okay, thanks guys. Someone said that he liked the background music. Okay, thanks for that. Well, okay, I think I'll be using this music more. I'll be using it more often. Yeah. So basically right now we have this right here showing up, but I'm not trying to figure out how to actually the way we can actually use the icons over here for these arithmetic signs. We can actually get those characters from our keyboard and input it in there, but I'm thinking that it will be much better if it actually have them from as an icon itself than just from our text or characters for the keyboard in there. So let's take a look at different icon packages and see which one we can actually use. So not flat icon, I'm looking for feather icon. So I don't know if you guys know about feather icon. I think, yeah, feather icon. Feather icon. It's not showing up. Okay, yeah, there we go. This is it. Can we actually take a look over here? Say we're looking for percentage. Okay, this has a percentage sign. Okay, which is cool. That's cool. If you take a look over here, we needed that percentage, so the percentage sign should also be here. That's nice one. Next, let's see other icons they have. Let's try delete. Okay, it has a delete sign. Okay, we are good to go. What I could do is to add those icon package. For those of you who have been with from the psychology app we are building, you remember how we use icon packages. So Yeah, so that's the same way we are going to be using it right here. Let me see if I can actually get one of those projects up and take a look at the package.json. Yeah, for the package.json for one of our projects, find the icon package that we have been using, because I actually run out of to remember the packages I've been using throughout the apps. Let me see. Line icons, no. Okay guys, give me a moment, let me try to see if I can actually find it again. Okay, we can actually take a look at Flutter, line icon package. I think that's the one I found here. I think I can say feather icon Flutter. I think that should no, not this. We made a mistake with the Flutter spelling. Yeah, Flutter feather icon. I think that should work for us. I think this is the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead and install this. Let's use this. So copy this path. That's what we are going to use for the installation. And let's take a look at how to use this also. Okay, so we have the icon button, icon, feather icon.github. Okay, that's cool. So let's go with the installation. So paste the code Flutter pub add, then the package name that we want to add. So yeah, that's added. That's nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear this off. So right now we already have the icon added in our app. So right here I'm gonna say for the first one, the first should be letter C at the front. So this should be letter C. So let's save this. No. Save that, and you can actually see the letter C showing up. The second one should be the letter MC. You could actually say the letter bracket or whatever, or the percentage sign. Let's see. Okay, the second one should be the percentage sign. Because we don't want this to be a letter, so what we could do, since it's going to be an icon, we don't want to actually have this test stuff here to be required. So actually make this to be optional. So make it an optional, and this is going to require it to be, so if it's optional, so I'm gonna say if this is not there, so go ahead and use this instead. And then for the icon, so I'm going to add another param that's also here. So I'm going to make that an icon data, and the icon data is going to actually be optional also. I'm going to call it, so say icon. Yeah, icon should be what it should be there, and I'm going to use it to replace whatever we have inside here as an icon data from our icon. Since it is going to be optional, so we are going to use the optional keyword right here. So no keyword right here. That if this is no, so basically what this is doing is called no coalition. So that's the name for it. So basically, if you are sure that something is going to be no, that basically if something is not going to be existing or empty. So we are saying if it's empty, basically use this in place of any icon. But we're having an issue, so it's saying invalid constant variable. Okay, so I'm going to remove the constant word from the parents, so that will solve the issue. If I go ahead and save that, another stuff we're going to use is the color property. So actually change the color to be the color that we added, and also do the same for this. I think that should be it. Color invalid constant variable. So I'm going to remove this also. So make the parents remove the constant variable for the parent, and again is a sign. So I think that's it for now. So if you save this, you see that there's an issue. Every single one of them is taking the same colors, but that's not what we want. I'm gonna, so what we are doing right here, we are kind of like using this as a so kind of like a reference, yeah, like yeah, reference is the right word to use. So we're using this as a reference to build something, to build our calculator app, but our calculator app is not going to look like what we have here, so it's going to be entirely different. So that's the whole point of it. Yeah, so right in there, so I'm going to say the first one, which I gave the letter C, the letter C one. So I want the color to be blue, different. So I'm going to copy the color that I want to be using for this. Give me a moment. Let me copy the color over. Okay. So the color should be this. Okay, that didn't copy. I foresee why I'm trying to paste it, but it's not pasting. So yeah, that's copied right now, and I'm gonna make this to be constant. Yeah, so if you go ahead and save this, that's cool. You see the color of the letter C is now blue. That's because I want it to actually have this blue color right here to be the color, the letter color. But the calculator app we have is having its own to be orange. So like I said, I don't want to actually use the whole design here. I'm just using it for a reference at the moment. So the next icon that we are going to add is going to be the percentage icon. So right over here, I'm going to remove the text property, which says we don't need it. Remove the text property for the second one, and replace that with the icon property. So the icon property is what we are going to replace it with. We're going to make use of the feather icon, but the feather icon that we're going to use is feather icon dot percentage. So I think it's called percentage. That's what we call. So let's take a look again. Percent. Yeah, so it's called. Why did he actually went ahead and downloaded itself? Okay, so that should be called percent. I think that this should be it. Save this. Let's see. For some reason, can't you actually see our percent icon? Okay, that's because we are saying that it should be false. So let's say its sign should be true. Okay, that's cool. See the percent color showing up. We want to change the color also to be the same color with this blue color that we have right here. So I'm going to use that in place of every other colors that we have showing up here. Just gonna save that. I can actually see the percent sign showing up. That's cool. The next one I'm going to use is the delete sign. Remember the delete sign that we have here, delete. So that should be the next one. I'm going to call this so basically the whole idea is just to remove the text and then replace them with the icon. And the icon always comes from the feather icons. And over here we're going to use the delete icon and change the icon color. So basically what we have here also. There you go. And its sign set that to be true. So go ahead and save this. That's cool. You can actually see the delete icon showing up, and then the last icon on this row should be the division icon. Hopefully we have that here. Say division. Yeah, okay. We messed up again. We actually went ahead and tapped this, and once you tap on it, it actually goes ahead and downloads the whole icon. It doesn't make any sense. The platform should actually be working like that, because that's not good user experience. I'm not trying to download it, just trying to tap on it and get the name. But once you tap on it, it just goes ahead and download the whole icon. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and complete this. I'm going to add icon data here, and this icon is going to be coming from feather icons, and the feather icon that we are going to be add is the division icon. Division. Okay, we got a problem. So it looks like we don't have the division sign. Division. Okay, divide, D-I-V-I-D. For some reason that's not included right here. divide. Okay, okay, that's not good. That's not good. So since we don't have the divide icon, so what other stuff can we use in place of that? So I can actually turn this to be a test. Let's try the test property, and then I can use the character on my keyboard, the division sign on my keyboard. I think that actually looks good. Okay, that's actually percent sign. We're not looking for percent sign. We're looking for the division sign. I think there's a division sign on keyboard. Okay, that's none. We don't have any division sign on my keyboard. So let's think here what we could actually use in place of that. We could actually try seeing if we have an icon like that from Flutter icon, material icon itself. So I'm going to say material icons dot divide. We I don't think we don't have it either. We don't have it. So let's take a look. Even Ionic icon doesn't have it also. Line icon might have, I don't know if we're going to have the same line icon. Let's take a look. Line icon. But we can actually create that division icon by ourselves. So there's a way to actually create that. But let's see if we actually find this online icon to use. If there's none, so you can actually go ahead and create that by ourselves. So let's go to the icons / divide. Okay, division. So it has division icon with it. So I think we can go ahead and add install line icon as part of our package right here. Pub add line icon, and this will actually install the icon for us, and this is how to use it. So basically we still use it the same way we are using the other feather icons. So line icon dot value, so I'm trying to take a look at how to use it. Okay, line icons dot desktop. I think that works. Yeah, that's cool. So okay, this is done installation. The installation is done. So let's go ahead and use this. So in here, I'm going to paste the line icons dots, but we need to import the line icon first. I'm going to import the package. So I'm going to say dot division. Okay, divide. Okay, that works. So if you save that, for some reason, for some good reason, we can't see the divide icon that we added right now. It's not showing up. So let's take a look. Let me change the color first and see why that is not showing. Okay, it's still not showing up. Icon data divide. We missing anything? Okay, let me see if I'm missing any installation process. Which I don't think I don't think we're missing installation process. Okay. Okay. So let's try this. Let's try this. Let's see if we made a mistake, but I doubt that. So that's not the case right here. I think I need to pause this, go back to the package. Yeah, I made a package, and then tap on this button to actually get the whole package from the beginning again. So once that is done, we are going to go ahead and run the app again. This time around, okay, we don't need to run it here, so go over here and run, click on run. Yeah, hopefully this time around it should actually be able to show up. Yeah, let's wait a bit for this to actually run. Okay, that was fast, but still we're not getting the icon that we want. It's not showing up. That's not actually showing up. That's not cool. That's not good. Okay, I see. That's bad. Yeah, okay, now I see. So it's basically actually from us, not from the code. So we are the one that actually got it wrong. So we should actually set this to be true. So whenever we are adding signs, we should set this to be true instead of false, because if it's false, it will actually hide the icon from showing up. But we don't want the code icon, we want the divide icon. I think this is the reason why I actually be attentive and be careful while whatever you're doing, so that you won't be introducing the bug by yourself and be looking around where the bug is from, whereby you actually introduce the whole bug by yourself, which is what we did right here, right now. I introduced the bug by myself and then looking at to see where the bug is coming from. Yeah, so with that being said, so right now we're going to go back and make the numbers should be black in color, so it should be dark. Yeah, dark. So let's put it there. I'm gonna say colors dot dark color, so just use black colors there. So actually do the same for, so these sections will all be numbers all the way to the last one. So the last one shouldn't be number, yeah, and the last one shouldn't be number, and the color should be different also. The same way, we are going to be using icon, impress whatever is here, set this to be true, that it is sign, set it to be true, and the line icon that we're going to add there should be multiply. Hopefully we have that. Multiplication sign, let's take a look. Multiplication sign, how do we actually get that? Is it called multiplication sign or what? Because we're using the multiplication sign, it's not showing up. Let's take a look over here. Multiply, none of them has that. Maybe we are getting the name wrong. Okay, I see. It's actually a close, it's actually close sign. Yeah, we can use close sign in place of it, or over here I think it should be called close sign. Yeah, close. Yeah, I think so. So we actually say close. No, let's say it's close. CLOSE. Yeah, so CLOSE. For some reason it's not showing up. Close. CLOSE. Okay, that's not working. For the feather icon, let's try the feather icon. Yeah, save that. That's cool. So actually see that working. So right now we have 1 2 3 then times. Next one, the second row right here, we start with, so we have 1 2 3, but that's not how the number counts on our calculator. So I'm going to reverse this. So this starts with 1 2 3, but ours is going to start with 7 8 9. We're going to reverse it. Yeah, so instead of saying 1 2 3, so I'm going to say 7 8 9, 7 8 9 4 5 6. Okay, so the next one is going to be say 4 5 and then 6, and also change the color property for each and every one of them. There you go, there you go, there you go, there you go. Set this to be false because this is going to be sign. No, set this to be true, not false. And the sign that we're going to be using here, read this out, use that right in here also. And the sign that we're going to be using is the minus sign. So let's see, this should have minus. Yeah, minus sign. So if you save that, there you go, 7 8 9 4 5 6, yeah, and then the minus sign. That's cool, we're getting somewhere. And next one we can actually work with let's see, so we have the plus sign, we have the minus sign. Okay, yeah, we need to the plus sign, so this one should be 1 2 3, so that should be 1 2 3, and then the last icon over there should be the plus sign. So let's go ahead and fix that. So the last icon should be the plus sign. Change this to be plus. There you go. And next we're going to change this to be black. The color should be dark color. And change this also. Yeah, change every one of them. Yeah, except the last icon. We don't need to change that. 1 2. Wait a second. I think we did something. 4 5 6. 1 2 3. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Next one, so we have 7 8 9 4 5 6 1 2 3 times minus plus, and last one right here, those ones should be having 0. So the first one should be 0. Second one should be dots. The last one in there should be triple zeros. Okay. Yeah, I'll actually make that triple zeros. 1 2 3 triple zero. Next one, that should be equal to sign. So you can actually copy this. Change that to equal to, as equal. Okay, I think that's not what it's called. So let's check what it's called. It's been called here. So say equal. No. What should that be called again? Equal to sign. Definitely not equal to sign. Line icon here. Say equal. Okay, it's not showing it, so that means it's not being called equal to sign. It's called something else, but let's figure out what it's being called. Let's see if we can actually find the icon somewhere here. So basically the icon we're looking for is this icon. You see the equal to sign icon here. So that's what we're looking for. I can actually get that from my keyboard because I have that on my keyboard, but I'm trying to use a sign for that. See if we can get the icon that will replace that. Let's take a look. Okay. So equal to, not seeing any one of them. We can actually use the plus sign and reverse it. We could use this transform on it to reverse it, but let's keep looking. Okay, I think it didn't find anything close to that. Equal to not showing up. So we say business chart, construction, currency, date, time, design, direction, e-commerce, education. Okay, so the set filter. Fashion, emoji, health and medical, interface and sign. Okay, interface and sign probably should be around here because we have the close, we have minus sign, we have the plus sign. Okay, we don't have the equal to sign. So in this case, I'm going to use the test in here. So I'm going to replace this with test. And this will be coming from our test. There you go. Let's save this. Okay, set this to be false. Yeah, set that to be false. Set this to be double zeros, and then set the colors to be plus. Okay, the colors should be black, the same black colors we have been using. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So if it, let's take a look. We have the whole designs popping up. They all look great. That's cool. That's ones. Let's see if we are missing any stuff. I don't think so. I don't think we're missing anything. So we have all these are now buttons for our calculator, and you can just tap on any of them. That's nice. Okay, yeah, that we are good. Next stuff we can actually add is to add an animation to the buttons effect. So let's say when someone taps on a button, we could actually have some kind of a ripple animation on it. So I'm going to add that. Basically, the code that we are going to use for that is getting from a ripple animation itself, a package in Git on Flutter by a Flutter developer. So he was the one that made that code. So I decided to get the code. I think it has a package for it also. Let me take a look. Let's take a look at the code base we have right here. Not here. That should be from this one. That should be called ripple. Called a ripple effect. Yeah, so ripple animation. So that's the pub package. Yeah, so we'll be using this package, but we will not be using it. So basically we'll be using it, but we'll not be using it. So the reason why I'm saying that is because the package right here will not be supported on our own Flutter version. So on the Flutter version we are using is not safety. So if you could remember, there's the recent Flutter version, or the most recent Flutter versions these days has this no safety feature on it, and this package right here, it has not been updated to no safety. So if we actually add this package into our Flutter app right now, it's going to kind of like to hold a lot of errors to us that the package we are using is not no safety, so it's not going to work like that. So with that being said, what we are going to do is I took a look into the package itself. The code page is not big. It just something is simple to actually add. So you can just copy the whole code and then format the code to actually use no safety and then use it. So that's basically what I did. So I just formatted the whole code, on my own and made it null safety. So that's the same stuff we'll be doing right now. So I'm going to copy the whole code over, but the whole credit still goes to the developer, who by the name is Amadidin. Okay, I'm terrible at pronouncing the name, but guys, you already know. So there's the developer right here. So this is the person that made the repo effect codes, but we are going to borrow it from him and make use of it. That's because I was lazy and I wasn't able to actually sit down and do that by myself. But what's the point of doing it if you already have it out there by someone? So there's no need of creating it on your own. So but we're going to use his own code. So yeah, let's minimize this, open this, our code base. So here is our code base. So I'm going to paste the code right below here, or instead of pasting the code right below here, it makes sense to actually create a new file for it. I'm going to call the file to be repo underscore animation dot no, that's not the correct extension name. Yeah, got that. With that being said, so let's paste the code. I'm going to import material to fix the issues that we're having right there. Import material UI, fix this, and don't think we have any issues, right? Okay, all the issues we have, we need to import math library, and this is how to import math library that we'll be using. I'm going to show you something cool right now. So there's different ways to import in Flutter. So if you're like over here, we're importing our math library and we're saying that we want to import this library as math, right? But we still want to expose some other functions that we're going to use inside the math library. We have the sine function, we have the pi function, and we have the square root function. So this has to expose other function that we want to use from the math library. Yeah, so this is good. You can still access this whole function using the math keyword right here. So this is how to do that. So to show you guys, you can actually still access it. So I can still access sine. So I'm gonna say math from dot square root okay, so that's because we're using at the top level. I guess that's the reason for the errors, but let's try somewhere in here. Yeah, I'm gonna say math dot square root. Yeah, then you can still access other functions from there. So math dot square root or whatever. So that still works. So that's cool. But we are still exposing other function we don't need. So I don't need the sine, I don't need the pi function, so we just need the square root function. So save this. So we can now use the repo animation that I just added right here. Like I said, you can just borrow the repo animation from this amazing developer right here that created it, and then use it in our own app. But the reason why we are borrowing it instead of installing the package is because we're using null safety in our own package, but the code itself is from the previous Flutter versions that is not using null safety. The way to do that is basically going to be to wrap whatever that we have in here as a button, wrap it with null safety. So not null safety, with the repo animation. So import the repo animation. Let's go ahead and import this. There you go. And it's going to require some code to be added. So I'm going to say color. The color will basically be from the color that has been added. So I'm going to say color with opacity. Yeah, let's say 0.6 thereabout, or 0. Yeah, let's leave it as 0.6. So, and auto, I'm going to add another feature saying auto start to be false. So I don't want it to auto start, but because from the previous package, immediately whenever you add a repo animation, it start having this blinking animation immediately without any click. So I'm going to show you guys what that is all about. So right now, if I set this to true or to start to be true, let's take a look. So I'm going to restart this whole stuff. Let's see. Okay, that for some reason something is wrong. Let me see what we are doing wrong right here. But to start, I'm gonna set that to false for now. Let's give this a try. The chart property is this circle avatar, and if you go and tap any of these buttons, it should trigger it, but for some reason it's not actually triggering the stuff that we want. So let's take a look and see why that is happening. On the repo animation that we have here, on our repo animation, okay, I see. So we need to import this timer. Import. Okay, we are having some issues right there we needed to fix, but we didn't fix that. So that's why it wasn't working. Let's take a look, see whatever else we need to fix for this to actually work. There's none. Okay. I think we're good to go. If we go ahead and save this, start this, head over here, and then try. Okay, there we go. You can actually see that working. So you see the repo effect working whenever someone taps a button. That's cool. Okay, yeah, but we still have some stuff to fix on it. So right now it's still overdoing it. We are going to fix that later on, maybe another day, but for now let's leave it this way. But what I was saying, that from the previous package, this actually starts automatically on its own. Let's see if that works. Yeah, see, so immediately you run the app, you have this repo effect showing up immediately, but that's not what we want. We want to actually only show the repo effect when someone taps on any of those buttons, which is what we are doing right now. So when someone taps on it, then show the repo effect. When someone taps on it, show the repo effect. Yeah, that's cool. That's one. Let's see what else we need to do right here. So we are able to get the icon showing up and all this whole stuff showing up in our app, but it's time to actually hook it up to be functional. So what I mean by functional is that when someone taps on the button actually sends an information to the app screen. So that's what I mean by functional. We could actually get that to work. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay, in that case I'm going to create a widget for us. So I'm going to copy the code over. I'm not going to create it from the scratch, so I'm basically going to copy the code over. I already did that, but I'm going to go ahead and explain what I did, so I guess I actually have a clear picture of what's going on. I'm going to go over here and create another file. I'm going to call the file custom test animation, custom test underscore animation, custom test animation dot dat. So remember the extension dot dat. Then paste this code. So this is actually done by me. took me quite some time to actually get this to work, so that's why I did it before the stream. Had it been that we're actually doing it at the right live stream, we're going to actually spend more than 3 hours right here trying to actually get this animated test to actually work, instead of building the whole app itself. So yeah, but that being said, so let's save this. So basically what the animated test is basically doing is that the idea for it is that whenever someone is tapping on each of these buttons, I want to be able to actually show what's happening on the screen. That's the reason for the animated button itself. So when someone taps on each of these buttons, it should actually appear on the screen animated. So you're gonna see the transition for that button. So let's go ahead and start working on this. So the next stuff is to actually use it in our app. So all this stuff we are doing right now, just try to picking this up. Let's try to be fast what we're doing. Tomorrow, yeah, we'll be able to kind of like pick some issues that we'll be having later on. But let's go ahead and into the main calculator app. So in here, I'm going to create a list, paste it. So this list will contain the whole input that the user, the whole button that the user tapped in here. So that's going to contain it, and the list is of type custom animated test. So go ahead and import this, and we have a string, a variable that keeps track of which of the sign that the user tapped on. So that's another property that we added. So that's because we want to know which of these property that the user tapped on to actually say, okay, the user tapped on the clear icon, then we decide to clear the whole screen, or the user tapped on percentage icon, then we decide to clear the do some percentage calculation on the number or something like that. So that's the whole point of it. So I'm going to save this. Next stuff I'm gonna do is to basically go ahead and where's our buttons. So this basically our buttons, but right now none of these buttons has a way of tapping on it. So we need to actually have a way of tapping on the button, right? So that's good. So let's see how we're gonna do that. So how to do that is basically I'll go ahead and wrap whatever we have here. That would be, wait a second, no, okay, yeah, this repo effect with a gesture detector. So I'm gonna say wrap with widget. So the widget name is going to be gesture detector, and then we're going to have on tap. So just trying to be fast about this, so be quick. I'm not trying to get to have to up to 4-hour streams just to minimize the numbers of time we are going to spend on the stream today. So when the user taps on this, we actually want to get this code to be added. One way to do that is I'm going to say when the user taps, I'm going to call some function. The function is going to be okay, yeah, I see it. So there you go. Move it and then go ahead and paste this like this. There you go. So I'm gonna say when user taps on this, get hold of a property called test and then do some stuff on it. I'm gonna explain this later on, but let me get the whole code over here for this feature. So give me a moment, let me just get the code that we need. So I need that test. So the test should start being 0. Okay, for now we don't need the test to be 0. We don't need this test property because this itself is going to be a string, and I'm not going to convert anything to be a string for now. Basically what we're going to be doing right now is to say we have let me see, whenever we are pushing something to that, we need a way to actually show that on the screen to say that the user added a decimal place or whatever it is that we want to show. Okay, so let's go ahead and fix this. So for now, I'm going to say whenever user taps on something, so pass the text format of that number in here. So that should be this. Remember, the text is somehow optional, but for some reason I'm going to say if it's optional, go ahead and show 2. So 2 should be the number that has been tapped. So we're going to fix all this thing stuff later on. I'm just to try to be able to get this to work at the moment. So when the list has been updated, so something has been added to the screen, the place that we want to update is the first positioned child inside the stack, which is this screen right here. We want to give it a child property. So you're gonna have a child property showing up right here. That's a child. No. So the child property is basically going to be a column that has not a column, it's going to be a row widget. So add a row widget right here. So we're using a row widget for it. So a row widget, and the row widget is going to have a children property, and inside the children property, let's remove the array for now. So there's a way to do that. Since we are going to be displaying whatever is being added inside this list on the screen right here, what I'm going to do is to say to map whatever that's been added inside that list over here. So all test dot to list, that's all we need. If I go ahead and save this, and let's give this a try. So if I save this, refresh, let's start our app. Hopefully we don't get a bug or an error at the first try. So let's debug console. Yeah, debug console. So let's tap on this. Let's tap on number 4. So that worked. Oh, it didn't. It actually didn't work. So let's fix this. So some issue. You have an issue right now. So let's see. My row widget showing up in here. Okay, let's see where the error is coming from, because immediately when someone tapped on this should actually be able to update itself, but it didn't update itself, so we got an error somewhere. So let's see where that is coming from and try to fix that. Okay, so there we go. So whenever someone taps on this button showing up here, we want to call test.add and whatever has been added. So update the main list that's up there, and that's that list.add custom animated test, and we pass in whatever that has been added to it. Let's see if we can actually work with this hard-coded test right here. Okay, that's cool. So we called set state on this whenever someone taps on it, and we want to be able to see that on the screen. But before we do that, so let's see, to make sure that someone taps on the button, so I'm going to add a print statement here for debugging, and this should say tapped buttons. That's cool. And I'm going to wrap this with conditional statements to be able to show this only on development. So you don't want to show the print statement on when the app is running on the live mode, basically when the app is on production. So you have to show the print statement on debug mode. So that's why we are wrapping it with this if statement. So go ahead and save this. Next is to actually try this again. Let's tap on this. If you take a look, you can actually see that nothing is tab feature here is no longer showing up. Then that's because the tab feature that triggers the repo animation is absorbing this tab feature right here. So that's the reason why we are having that issue. So how to do that is to actually go back to the repo animation. Either we remove the repo animation at the moment, disable it at the moment to actually get the app to work. In this case, I think I actually have to disable it, or that's a better way to actually do this. So once you tap on the repo animation, we can actually have a callback function that's been called from the repo animation also. So I could actually say from the repo animation itself, because we are passing this function on tap, you can see the gesture detector, which is wrapping the child. So that's why it's absorbing the child's own gesture detector too. So what I can do is I want the parent to be able to call any of these function. So what we have to do, we have to pass it up. So I'm gonna say void callback, void callback, on tap. So we call it on tap. So I'm gonna add it also here. Require this dot on tap, and we want to call the on tap basically whenever we call controller.forward for the repo animation. So I'm going to call widget.ontap also, and that's going to throw an error by telling us that we need a property here called ontap. And if you take a look right now, let's try printing something here, and I'm going to use, like I said, debugging, tapped buttons here. So let's wrap this with a debug on a debug mode, make it conditional, and save this, restart the app. And if I go back, try to tap on this, I see this is now being called tap buttons here, which is good. So in that case, that means we don't need to actually create another gesture detector on the parent. What I could do is basically to remove the gesture detector from the parent, not from the parent, from this outer. But what happened? Wait. Okay, yeah, that wasn't. Yeah. So right now, let's call this function that we are calling previously or the other place. So let's call it here. Save this. Go ahead and restart this. And right now, let's test this. So let's say we tap on 8. Nice one. You can actually see the animation showing up. So tap on 9. You see. So I'm talking about the test animation showing up inside the screen. Tap on 3. Nice one. That's cool. So that's what I'm talking about, the animation for the numbers that the user are tapping on. But right now we're actually getting only the hard-coded numbers. So the hard-coded numbers are actually what we're getting, but we want to be getting the numbers that the user is actually tapping over here. So to do that, like I said, I'm going to pass in the test input here, and the test field, we're going to remove this from being constant. If you go ahead and save this and restart the app, so if you tap on 7, nice, tap on 8, nice, tap on 9, nice, tap on 4, cool, tap on 5, you see the nice transition, the animation, the test moving from outside and into the app. So that's the good part of this. So tap on 6, nice one, and once the test comes in, the other test makes a space for it to actually fit in. So yeah, and tap on number 1, tap on number 2, tap on number 3, tap on number 0, and tap on dot. Now the dot is actually working. tap on 00, and there we go. So you have, I don't know how to pronounce that number, but you guys can actually try pronouncing it. But yeah, so that's cool, and cool one, nice animation, because you don't actually see these animations somewhere whereby you're animating the test appearance, or yeah, test appearance or something like that. This right here actually took me almost few, like I would say, like around 3 hours to actually get it to work, the test appearance and actually being able to position, because the first time I tried it, so the tests were actually coming from the opposite direction, and it wasn't actually working very well. You can't see the rest of these showing up too. So that's cool, but there's an issue right now. If you try and tap on any of these, you see that doesn't work. We get the number 2, whereby we should actually get the star, the sign, the arithmetic sign showing up here. We are getting the number 2 showing up here, which is not what we are looking for. So let's see how to actually solve this issue. One way to solve that issue would be that we could try to see how to convert any of this sign to a test, right? Because on my keyboard I can be able to get the plus sign, get the equal to sign showing up too, right? Yeah, I can get the equal to sign showing up. No, plus sign, I can get the minus sign showing up, and I can get a multiplication sign. Okay, that's not on my keyboard. We can't. Yeah. The division sign, we don't have it. Also, the percentage sign, we don't have it also. But I think there's a trick. There's something we could actually do to get that. Currently, right now, our custom animated test is expecting a test widget, right? But what if that we can get, okay, let's see. So I'm trying to figure out how we can actually do that. I'm thinking of pushing, because the way we are doing this, we are pushing custom animated text onto the screen right here to actually appear as a number on the screen. I'm thinking that way we can actually push an icon onto the screen also, which we can, but that will actually give us a tough time in the future trying to figure out how to do the calculation. Because if you push an icon right here, what I want to do is to be able to split this text from the screen and get the sign that was tapped in there. For in that case, we can make it in this way that when the user taps on any of these top icons and the equal to sign, it doesn't show up in the screen. But when they tap on the multiplication sign, division sign, and any other sign, it should be able to show up on the screen right here. That case, I could say, let's see. Okay, so let's try this. So let's see if we can actually have a plus sign showing up here when someone taps on something that's not any of this that we have here. So if we save this and you tap on any of these signs, you can actually see the plus sign showing up. But now the screen is being overflowed. We still have to fix that issue also in the tomorrow when we are doing other stuff. So if I go and say plus sign, you see the plus sign is being added, and then you can decide to add other signs, other numbers at the back. So that's cool, that's nice. We can actually try minus sign to actually see what that looks like also. Minus, if you take a look, let's say 78 minus 2 3, so 78 minus 23. That's nice. But what I'm trying to also do is that we could actually, like I said, Now we can actually have, we are adding the character signs, equivalent of those signs, whereby we already know that some of those signs doesn't have a character equivalent. Something like the multiplication sign doesn't have a character equivalent on our keyboard. There's no multiplication sign except the star, the asterisk sign where you can actually see here. That's not multiplication, real multiplication sign. If you try that out, so if let's say we try that out, see how that looks. So that's not real multiplication sign. It doesn't look like a multiplication to me. Yeah, so I think that's not good user experience. Some user wouldn't even understand what this means. So I think we could actually think of a way out here. So if we are the signs array or spread, okay, let's try this. Let's give it this try. So we have the C key. When this is tapped, we want to clear off the whole screens. When this is tapped, we want to add the numbers in there. All these ones are working, but the issues we are having is the arithmetic signs. Those are the ones that we are having at the moment. But there's a way to, like I said, there's a way to mitigate that, but that will not actually look good. Actually, make sense from what we want. So one way to do that is that I could actually say find a way to actually push icons into the screen, not only the stuff, not only letters. So I could do that by saying over here custom text animation. We could say instead of pushing only text, we also can push icons too. So to do that, I will say I can actually allow the user to give us an icon property. So that should be icon data, icon that we want to push to the screen. Right there. But this is not going to be required. We have to make this to be optional, so it's not going to be required. So this dot icon, we don't need it to be required. And I will say if icon, if widget.icon, right? If widget.icon is not null, that means if it's not equals to null, if that's true, we want to add an icon to it. So that's basically we're going to make use of this icon property right there. Use that right also here. Else show this, but the icon that we're going to be using is from widget.icon. Show up here. And next, the color property, the color of the icon that we want to be showing. Remember the color of our icon, which should be these colors, and replace that. And we also need to reduce the height of the icon or the size of the icon. If I go ahead and save this, and then say over here in our main calculator, when the user taps on this, right? Okay. I will say if the user taps on this, we want to do some checking to see if icon is true. If icon is true, we are going to set state to be the icon property that was tapped in. If icon is false, then we don't need to do any other stuff. So how to do that? I'm going to have an if statement showing up here. So I'm going to have an if statement. Say if a sign is true, go ahead and do this, but we're going to make some changes to this. Else, go ahead and do this. The changes we need to make is that if sign is true, we are going to set the test property to be empty, so nothing should be in there. Then we set the icon property to be from icon right there. So that's what the difference that we're going to make. So if you go ahead and save this right now and give this a test run, so if you tap on this 78, then let's say multiplied, you can actually see that working. See the multiplication sign showing up, 6 5. That's nice, but we don't want it to actually show up there. We actually want it to be somewhere in between, yeah, at the center. I think that will work, but the way to do that will be to actually go over here and let's say transform. I could put this, so this should be centered. Wrap with center widget. Hopefully that works. Okay, that doesn't work, because the whole store disappeared immediately. And you see, if you tap on that, it doesn't show up. So that's not what we're looking for. So let's kind of like revert back. I'm gonna add alignments. Let's use an alignment on it. Wrap with align, and I say alignment, zero, and then constant. Okay, let's try this again. So 8 times. Okay, we're still not seeing that showing up. Let's see, 1 minus 1. Okay, let's remove the alignments also, because the alignment is not actually giving us what we want out there. So I'm going to remove that, remove this widget, and then save, and this shows up. But I think we can actually try transform property on it. Let's give that a try. Transform.translate, and then we're going to have the offset property. Let's say 0.0. Let's say this should be okay. On the y-axis, let's say we have 1. That will bring it down. So let's say we have 10.0. Okay, that's working. Let's push it down a bit more. Let's say we have 15.0. For the sign property, let's say we have 16. I think that's okay where we want it. So let's increase this property. So let's say it should be bigger. The multiplication sign should be bigger a bit. So let's say 26 for the size. With that, let's put it that way. I think that's cool right now. So if we restart the app again and then tap on 78 times 56, and you can see that that's working. That's cool. That's nice. But I want to actually change the numbers color. The colors are not looking good. The numbers should actually be the same black colors and not yellow colors. So if you could remember, we still have the same colors for it, yes, which is black. So we don't need to actually copy, just change this to black. So black. We fix the whole issue for us, and that's nice. So we have those showing up. Actually start 78 times 52, which is great. That's cool. That's cool. Let's say we want to add a clear button, so the clear button will clear everything from the screen, which is nice. So let's try that also. So let's add a clear button. But how do we figure out which one is actually the clear button? So I think that will be an issue for us right now, except that we have to add another property to this button right here. That's going to say each of the buttons will actually have a property to determine what it is. So right here I'm going to say, okay, let's say this button says its name. So when you tap on this button, and we can get hold of any property right here that says, okay, this is a clear button, this is a percentage button, this is a delete button, this is this, this is that. So I think I actually find a way to add those right here. So one way we can actually do that, think we can say should be required, or it shouldn't be required. I could actually make that to be required. Boolean is dot, so we don't need this. It's dot sign also. I don't think we need it, so just forget about it. So this should be is clear button, so basically saying is clear button. Required, another required property should be is delete button, so is it delete button. We have another required property that should be is percentage button, but the percentage sign, okay, yeah, we can actually leave that. And the required property again should be boolean is equal to button. So I think those should be required, but that will make us actually make some changes to stuff we have done before. So in here, inside here, I'm going to go ahead and delete most of this code that I have that we don't need. So this is getting much fun right now. So what I want to do is that when someone taps on any of those buttons before doing any stuff, like currently right now, we have a way to actually, okay, something is wrong. We have a way to actually add these buttons over here, but we don't have a way to clear them out. So we need to add that. So that's what we're trying to do right now. So what I want to do is that when someone taps on any of those buttons, I want to check if it's actually a clear button, and we can use if statements on this case, but there's going to have a whole lot of if statements showing up. Let's see. Okay, let's think about this. Okay, what if we actually gave them is on tap? So I can give it is on tap property. It's all going through if statement here to check if it's a percentage, if it's a this, if it's that, if it's this, if it's that, if it's that, if it's this. That's going to be a whole lot of if statement. But I think we'll actually give this button to actually have an optional variable that's going to be called void callback, which is optional, unpressed, and if any of this is true, so this should not work when you tap on the button. This feature right there shouldn't actually work. This callback right there shouldn't actually work. So one way to do that is I can have a constant that's here, and it's going to say is okay, is sign button. I call this sign. Is sign is equals to is clear button, or is delete button, or is percentage button. Is clear button. Okay, this is not going to be constant. We just make this to be final variable. Yeah, that makes sense. it should be fine now, because we're checking clear button, delete button, percentage button, and checking if it's also equal button or equal button. If any of this is true, we don't want to have this click happening over here. So what I'm gonna say is, if any of this is true, if okay, we're having a mistake. We already have an is sign property shown up here. Is special. Yeah, I think this will make more sense. This name I'm trying to give is a special btn make more sense. So I'm going to check if it's a special button. If it's a special button, if it's true, go ahead and pass a no to it. Else, go ahead and do this. Instead of passing a no, because this is not going to require a no, I'm going to pass an empty callback to it. Pass an empty callback. So right now we pass an empty callback to it. And if you go ahead and fix these issues that we're having right here, so all these issues that we're having, so let's go ahead and start fixing them one at a time. So is clear button true? So let's see. Okay, that's called is clear button. Yeah, it's called is clear button. So that's what we need to fix. So that should be our clear button. Next should say is delete button should be false, because that's not a delete button. Is equal button should be false, that's not the equal button. Is percent button should be false, that's not the percent button. Is okay, we are run out of is, we don't have any other is. So basically I can just copy all this stuff and then use that in place of any other ones, so it could be faster. So right here, this is actually a percent button, so every other stuff should be false except percent button should be true, because that's a percentage button. And next, we are going to say over here, if this is delete button, so every other stuff is going to be false except the delete button. Delete button should be true. And last but not the least is the division button. We still need that, so we don't need to add that right there. What I mean is that we don't have any of these properties that's actually for that, so all this should be false because it's none of that. Just copy this and then use that in other parts of the app that requires it, which is this part requires it. This also requires it. This requires it. This requires it. Somewhere here is in need of it. Most of the app, most of this is in need of it. Is in need of it. Is required. Okay, now we got a whole lot of stuff to fix, so I can actually make this better tomorrow while trying to other part we'll be doing. We're trying to figure out to actually make this code much better written than what we're doing right now, but for now we're not thinking about that aspect. So let's say paste this, and this is an equal to button, so this is an equal to button, so this should be true. If I go ahead and that, save, then restart the app. So if you go ahead and tap 5 times 6 2, then tap on any of these, you see nothing happens. So if you tap on any of these numbers, nothing happens. So that's cool, we are getting somewhere, so that's working. But okay, save the division. The division part is happening, but let's fix the clear button. So if it's actually a clear button, we should already know where the clear button is in our app. So this is where we added the clear button. So we're going to have the onPress function called. So the onPress callback, we're going to say, yeah, nice one. So this is basically what we want to do. we want to clear the list out. So if the user taps on the clear button, so we want to clear the list out, but that didn't work. All test.clear. Okay, I see. Okay, if that's the case, if the because this unpressed is not added anywhere, if that's the case, we want to call the unpressed button button wrap. No shake operator using a no shake operator. Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking of what else we could actually do right in here. So I want to be able to call this unpressed method if we are doing using a special function. So I can actually set that to be required at the moment. So remove this and then put it in other places that has been required. So every single button that we're creating will require an unpressed to be added to it. So that's kind of another second job that we needed to be doing right now. Adding unpressed to every single one of them. This is so tedious. There's a big work. I actually figured out a way later on to make this work better. Because the issue is because we are doing this on the fly. Say right here we have this. I think we have this. Save that. Oh, I thought we actually finished, so that didn't. So we still need to add it, these spaces. Okay, that's cool. Let's test this out. So the way to test this, the clear button, that's one that we'll be testing right now. So if I tap on this 7-8 times 5-6, and we want to be able to clear the screen. So if I tap on this, you see that's cool, the whole screen is cleared. So that's the functionality we are looking for, and you can go ahead and start tapping, adding whatever you want to add again. Then let's say -325, and once you tap on clear, it will clear the whole screen. Yeah, but I don't like the way the screen is clearing at the moment. We're going to kind of like fix that tomorrow, maybe add some animation when the screen is trying to clear. We want to animate the test going out, the whole test going out one at a time. That would be cool. But yeah, I think that would be cool to do. But for now, let's leave it this way. Next stuff we want to add is the delete function. So we want in a way to, when we want to delete this, we can actually delete each of them one at a time. That's easy. One way to do that is to actually do pop. So pop will just pop everything out of the whole stuff out from the list that we have. So let's go ahead and do to the, so we are here in the delete section. So for the delete, I'm going to say all test dot pop. Okay, remove last. Yeah, so if you start this, let's try 1 2 4 6, and we want to delete them. So tap, it should, but the issue is because we are not using set states on it. And remember, we are not using any state management on this app except the normal way to manage state, which is set state on the stateful widget. That's why we're using stateful widgets. Later on we can still upgrade this to use provider. Yeah, I think provider will be better, or we can use any other state management package out there we have used getX in the previous apps that we have been building, so there's no need of using getX anymore. But for now, so let's try this. So let's say we want to delete this. So if you tap, you see, pops them out, everything gets deleted. And if you want to clear everything off at the same time, just tap on the clear button, everything gets cleared out of the screen. So that's great. So right now we got the clear button and other stuff working, but we need to get the whole stuff to work the way we want them to work. I think all of these are working except the, okay, this is not working at the moment and this is not working at the moment. Let's take a look. So if I tap on this, okay, this is working. Okay, that's working. But this is not working, so we need to fix this. And the equal to sign is not working, we need to fix the equal to sign. So yeah, I think that's what we'll be looking on. Let's see if we can actually do some of them today. The rest we can just continue the rest of them tomorrow. Yeah, so right now what I want is that when the user taps on the equal to sign, I want to do some calculation by figuring out what numbers exist in here and what doesn't. So when you say equal to sign, it should kind of like print us the whole stuff we have inside our list. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, how to print the whole elements inside our list. So let's look for the equal to sign where we have it. So the equal to sign is somewhere right here. So this is the equal to sign. So do some calculation on it. So I'm gonna say all test dot, not clear, we're not clearing it, all test dot split so let's see what we can actually use on a list for that. First, now we don't want to get the first string. It's empty, iterator, last, well, not the last, add or okay, that was basically want to pop add something to the list. Now have the any. Okay, see, we can actually check if any of the elements that we have in our list matches whatever that we want to do. Let's see. E.test say item at index 0 dot icon okay, that makes sense. Dot icon dot equal to line icons. Okay, that's where we can actually do the equal to stuff. But okay, before we get to this point, let's try something. So over here, I'm gonna comment this out, just comment it out for now. So below it, so what we could do below, I'm going to say final call this or math. Just giving it a random name right now. The names are not making any sense, so just giving it a random name. That's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna say all this is equals to all test, which is basically everything on the screen, dot map e dot test dot join, but the problem is that most of them actually doesn't have any text in it. So most of them has an empty text showing up in them. So like this has an empty text, like this. So if it's an icon, it has an empty text, but if it's not an icon, text is not optional. So we actually made text to be optional too. So we can actually say empty also whenever it's actually empty, so that means is an icon. So that's what we're trying to be able to establish here. We're trying to establish a rule that can actually make it easy for us to loop through what we want to loop through. So instead of this returning e.test immediately, I'm going to have an if statement right here. So I'm going to say if, so if e.test is equals to empty. If it's empty, so basically return let's see. Okay, before we do this, okay, let's forget this for now. Try this. Okay, let's return the whole test for each of every one of them, and then I'm going to print this out to the screen. I'm going to say all maths, wrap this with kdebug for debugging, and then import the kdebug stuff, fix this, and then let's run this, save, create this, and then bring this up. So we want to actually be able to see whatever that we when we tap on the equal to sign, we want to see whatever that's inside on the screen right here. So if you go ahead and tap on this, and there you go, you can actually see 4563. So 4563 is the answer that we are seeing. So 4563, which is cool. That's basically what is in here in our screen, but we are looking for a better way to actually be able to, because I need to split this by so I'm looking for a way to actually split this out, and to make that easy for us. So I think we can actually go back and do the stuff I wanted to do right here. So I can still use the if statement. So the if statement right here, so the if statement will help us to check to see where this is first. So if e.test, if test is equals to empty, that's empty, go ahead and return. So return an empty. So if that is so, go ahead and return an empty test, else return e.text. So go their way and save this. Let's go ahead and save this, and then try to tap on the equal to sign again, and that way we are good to go right now. So this actually way we can be able to split this and get, okay, this is the first number that was typed in, and this is the last numbers that were tapped in, and we can actually determine the sign that we have right here. So that one is easy for us to determine. There's a way to determine that, but okay, so to do this, so what I could do right now is to say, since we are splitting this by adding the space to it, so now I can also actually say split print the all maths that should be all math dot split, and our split pattern is a space. We are splitting by space, and if we split this by space, let's say final test to calculate is equals to this. There you go. Final test to calculate is equals to this. And if that is the case, and I'll say test to calculate at index 0, and also print test to calculate at index 1. And if you go ahead, okay, and also they can actually print test to calculate. I've got to save this and try to tap on this again. There we go. That's nice. So we can actually get the first one is 45, the second one is 63, and again we determine the sign that was tapped on. The way to do that, since we're actually checking if this is empty, if this is once it's kind of like running to get us what is in here, when it gets to the point where the test is empty, that means the sign is also that means you have gotten to the sign path. We can actually call set states on that, but I think that kind of like doesn't make sense also to call set state over there. What we could do, because we are saying if the user is using sign, if it's a sign path, checking if it's a sign, we are calling set state to add this, but we actually also need to help with the sign to say that okay, the sign is this or the sign is that. That's one thing we can actually do right now. So one way to do that is to say at the top, so we're saying sign should be a string, so I don't need that to be a string anymore. And I'm going to say the sign should be an icon data. Sign should be an icon data, and it should be lit. And if we go back and scroll down all the way to here where we are adding this, so once we add this to the screen, once we add a sign to the screen, we also want to set sign to be equals to icon that was added. I'm going to force unwrap that, force unwrap it. So I'm going to save this. And then the reason why we are doing that is because once we get to this part where we are going to do equal to, which is kind of like calculating the whole stuff, we want to actually be able to print the sign that was given to us, or create a calculation function that will actually help us to calculate those stuff. So over here below here, I'm going to create a function below this line of code that we have here. Below this line, I'm going to create a function, and I'm going to call this it should actually return something, or it shouldn't return, just update the screen for us. I think that will actually make more sense. With that being the case, what I could actually do is, so I'm going to say okay, function calculate test. I'll just call it calculate. I think that will actually make more sense. Just call it calculate. Okay, and in here it's going to be requiring some properties. The first one is num1 is going to be is it going to be a string or a double? Which one is it going to be? We could actually convert everything to a double, Yeah, let's require a double. So I'm going to say double num1. Second one is required double num2. And once we get hold of the num2, and we're going to pass in required sign. Do we need to pass the sign property? I don't think so. What we need to do is to say inside here, because the way where we are getting all our signs is from line icon. I hope so. Let's take a look. Let's see if line icon is what we're using for our sign properties right here. Let's take a look. So starting from the division sign, so let's see where that is. Okay, looks like some places we use feather icon. Okay, yeah, line icons dot divide, line icons dot close. So this should be line icons dot close. I think that would make more sense. Okay, close is from feathers icon, so feather icon dot close. Let's see where else the icons is coming from. Feather icon dot minus. Okay, so let's start with that. So feather icon is for the multiplication. So I could say if sign is equals to feather icon dot multiply. This should actually return a number. Okay, there you go. Let's just return a double for us. And if this sign is equal to multiplication, just basically multiply these two numbers, num1 and num2. And if sign is equals to minus, the minus sign, where do we actually get that from? The minus sign, we got it from feather icons too. Okay, so feather icons dot minus. That means go ahead and minus it, and what is sign is equals to for multiplication. Okay, we already did multiplication, we already did minus, we need to do plus. So the plus sign, where did we actually get that from? The plus sign, okay, well, the equal to sign, after equal to sign, it should be the plus sign. Okay, it's still from the feathers icon, so feathers icon plus for the plus sign, and the two number plus themselves. And what else do we have? Division. So we have plus, minus, multiplication, and division. Feather line icon dot divide. So I know that division was gotten from feathers icon, from lines icon. So if it's division, go ahead and divide the two number, else return 0. So we are going to use this calculate at the top whenever we click on the calculate function. So over here, so we're going to use it in here. So I'm going to say final calculation. So final calculation should be equals to this, and we have to pass this property to it. And what this is all about. Okay, so let's go. So I'm gonna say num1 should be basically the first number, which is this one showing up here, and then I'm gonna say num2 is basically the second number, which is the last one from the screen, add it right here. But the issue right now is that this stuff is returning a string, a list of string, and we don't want a string, so we want to convert this to a double. So I'm gonna say two. Okay, so we can't. So that's a way to actually convert this to a double, because this function is requiring double. So I'm gonna say double dot pass we can actually do the same for this. Okay, yeah, double dot pass, so that will pass the two doubles to us. This will basically have a double as a return type whenever we did the return type, and once that is returned, we want to be able to show the final calculation right here on our screen. So one way to do that, because we haven't added that yet, so let's go ahead and add that path there. So let's go ahead and add a path for showing the final calculation that we just did. I think we can actually do that. Okay, this already have a single child at the moment, which is a row widget, and we don't want it to be the only child it has. It should also have a column child, have a column widget right there. Children, inside the column we have the row widget. I think that will make more sense. Save that. Okay, yeah, that's still working. So I have the column right there, and we can have a test widget. And we could call that test. Yeah, so we could, right now it's already showing 0. That's not what we need it to be doing. As a class as its alignment. Okay. Yeah, so I think that works. So let's restart this, make sure everything is working as we expect it to. Okay, yeah, so there we go. And this will be dynamically updated. To update that, I'm gonna have total for the calculated value is equals to 0 at the moment. Start being 0, right? We then update it in here. Say calculated value, which is 0.2 string. We need to remove this from being constant and make this to be constant. If you go ahead and save this right away, and that way we can now be able to update this from the total part right here. So again, when this is actually calculated, I'm going to call set value, and I'm going to say calculated value is equals to calculation. This should be double. Go ahead and save this. Okay, int is not a subtype. Where do we got some type mismatch somewhere. We have type mismatch. Okay, there you go. But we don't want to start off by showing 0.0 on the screen. If we fix that, I'm gonna say boolean is calculated should be false. Y is calculated. If it's calculated is true, go ahead and show this. Else, go ahead and show empty size box. and also we need to actually call set is calculated to be true. I think that should be it at the moment. So if you go ahead and save this and restart the app, so let's take a look. 78 plus 56 is equal to 134.0. Let's see if that is correct. Let's see if this is actually correct. So let's say 78, because my math is actually bad right now. 78 plus 56 is equals to 134. Yeah, that's cool. That's good. We got 78 plus 56 giving us 134.0. If you decide to clear this, everything goes out and we have the 134 showing up. And actually, okay, right now we can clear everything up. Let's see. Okay, so when we tap on the clear function, we should be to clear every single thing on the screen. That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of the clear. So when it clears everything, also clear set is calculated to false. Before we set is calculated to false, also want to calculated value, set that to 0, save everything. So if we go back again, let's try this. Now we're almost getting to the finish point. Let's do test right here. Yeah, so there we go. Let's try again. So I'm gonna say 85 plus 25 is equals to 110. If you tap on the clear, it clears everything from the screen. 4 times 4 is equals to 16. Nice one. Clears everything. And 5 minus 2 is equals to 3.0. So that's cool. 5 minus 2 is equals to 3.0. This equals to 3, because the reason why we're having 3.0 is because we are actually doing converting everything to double. So that's why we're having 3.0. We can actually remove this to be just 3, but it's still the same. 3.0 is still 3. So yeah, that's cool. We can clear everything from the screen, and then let's try. We did plus, we did minus, we did multiplication. Let's try division, right? 7. Let's try something. 4 divided by 2 should be equals to 2. Yeah, so 4 divided by 2 should give us 2. That's correct. What about decimal places? Let's say 12.2 plus 1.5 is equal to 13.7. Is that correct? I think, yeah, that should be. Guys, I'm terrible at my maths. 12.2 plus 13.7 is equals to 25. Wait a second. 12.2. Okay, I miscalculated it. I was calculating 12.2 plus 13.7. So it should be 12.2 plus 1.5. Yeah, that's correct. That should be 13.7. So that's a actually good use of leaving everything to be on decimal place, but we can actually find a way to actually shorten it not to be on decimal place, I think. Yeah, and which could do the whole stuff tomorrow. We can find a way to do the other part of it tomorrow, but today we're able to actually accomplish a lot. We built the whole calculator that we want. So if you say this is 100 plus 56, so if you say equals to 156.0. Nice one. So if we go ahead and clear this, I'll still do 1 10, that will make it 10, minus 5 will give us 5.0, which is 5. Nice one. So go ahead and clear this. We actually worked on the delete button, so the delete works, deletes everything from the screen. That's same way we're actually doing the same thing with division, but we didn't actually do percentage sign today. So hopefully, yeah, tomorrow we should be able to work on the percentage calculation. We leave those ones to tomorrow, and also tomorrow we should be able to convert this to actually work well on web. For right now, we haven't implemented the web version. This is basically what I did previously on my own, so we didn't implement that for the web. So if you're actually trying to run this on web, you see how bad this will actually look. So let's try running this on web right now. So let's give it a web try. So open this to run on Chrome web. So run without debugging. You see, like I said, it's going to look terrible at the moment because we didn't actually get it to actually function on the web part of the Flutter. But yeah, so I think we can just leave this today for now, and then tomorrow we can just move everything to web. We already stream for 2 hours plus right now. Okay, guys, I think this should be it. Let's continue tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be basically getting this to work on web and also getting it to work on Mac also, because if you go ahead and run this on Mac, it also look terrible, like the same way it's actually showing on Chrome. So yeah, let's see how we can actually get this to look better on Chrome, get it to look better on Mac and other platforms. But I don't have, so this since I don't have Windows, so I will see how to borrow my friend's Windows to test it on Windows, because Windows can still build it for Windows also. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's the whole point of these sections that we'll be doing. But this shouldn't just take us time. We should be able to complete this within two to three let's say 2 to 4 episode. We should be able to complete this whole stuff, because I want to add a lot of stuff to the calculator. Like I said, the calculator is called fastest finger. The whole point of the fastest finger stuff is to be able to so that the whole point of the fastest finger stuff is to be able to have a calculator where people can have fun while typing on it. So kind of like fastest finger stuff like that. You're going to have some questions popping up on the screen asking you to calculate this to this, calculate that, or do this or do that. So that's the whole point of the fastest finger stuff. Yeah, so I'll be hoping to actually be able to accomplish that before actually within 2 to 4 episodes of these sessions. So yeah, I think that's it, guys. Thanks for joining today, and see you guys tomorrow, where we continue porting this to web and porting it to macOS and other platform also. Thanks and have a nice day. See you guys. And if you have a question, don't feel free to actually drop me some questions. Today I didn't actually keep eye on the comment sections, but yeah, tomorrow I will actually try to chat more with you guys on the comment section. You can actually check out my social media channels and just drop me your questions right there. I will actually try to reply to all of them. And yeah, also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. If this is your first time, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep growing together.